Awesome. Okay, great. So we're recording. So if you guys want to pop on over to the chat, introduce yourself, say hello, where you're from. I'm so happy and pleased that you are here tonight for this call. And one of the things that I wanted to start us off with was a beautiful, I'd like to read you what's called the Woman's Creed. I was just on a wonderful coaching call, and my coach used this as part of our meditation. And I thought that it was perfect and completely in alignment with what we are accomplishing here over the next 7 days. So I just want to, first of all, welcome you into the circle for the Mindset Reset program. We're meeting every night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here in this Zoom container. And each night we're going to be going over different modules. So tonight is the first module. And this Woman's Creed, I would like to read off to you just to start our call today. It was actually something that I just figured I would just I would add in. So I do hope you find value with this. This is a wonderful centering practice. So what I would invite you to do is just close your eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths from your belly, through your chest, in through your nose, out through your mouth, and just invite you to just get centered here. Feet on the ground. Let any of the busyness of the mind just start to slow down. There's nowhere you need to be. Nothing needs to be taken care of right now. We can just simply be. Allow ourselves, our bodies, our shoulders to relax, allow the jaw to relax, and allow our mind to just receive. Keep breathing in and out. And the creed is as follows. I believe that within me lies an extraordinary radiance, and I commit to letting my light loose in the world. I believe that the source of my power and wisdom is in the center of my being, and I commit to acting from this place of strength. I believe that I possess an abundance of passion and creative potential, and I commit to the expression of these gifts. I believe that the time has come to let go of old notions and unhealthy attitudes, and I commit to re-examine what I have been told about beauty and to dismiss what insults my soul. I believe that negative thoughts and words compromise my well-being, and I commit to thinking and speaking positively about myself and others. I believe that young women are in need of positive role models, and I commit to being an example of authenticity and self-love. I believe in the relationship between my well-being and the well-being of the planet, and I commit to a life of mindfulness that regards all living things as holy and worthy of my love. I believe that it is my spiritual responsibility to care for my body with respect, kindness, and compassion. I commit to balancing my life in such a way that my physical being is fully expressed and nurtured. I believe that joy is an essential part of wellness, and I commit to removing obstacles to joy and creating a life that is full of exuberance. I believe that women who love herself, a woman who loves herself, is a powerful, passionate, attractive force, and I commit from this day forward to loving myself deeply and extravagantly. I am so excited that you have decided to join me on this journey to reconstructing your mindset. Everything in our lives revolves around mindset. And I'm proud and excited that it is important enough to you for you to show up fully, be present here and now, and sit deep within this class. Bravo. When you're ready, take a deep breath and open your eyes. just going to get a little comfortable here in my seat. So excited that everybody's here. Welcome, welcome. All right. So let's talk about the thoughts that float around in our heads on a daily basis. We all know that our dominant thoughts create the life that we live. We have been conditioned by our mindset on a daily basis as to how we think about things that have happened to us, or how our circumstance is, what it looks like, what it feels like. And for this reason, the importance of our surroundings is an essential ingredient to our mindset's health and well-being. So if you ask yourself, do you surround yourself with positive people? What does your inner circle look like? How about your friends and family, colleagues, coworkers? If you're like me and you're an entrepreneur and we tend to spend a lot of time solo, what are the thoughts that are going around in your mind? Are they positive? Are they negative? So that's the first thing that we can take a look at when we're considering resetting our mindset. The second is, do you start your day on a positive note? Are you excited to begin your day? I know for me personally, I actually look forward to the morning now. I never used to before, but I'm finding myself, the more and more I practice balance in my life, the more I am ready to go to bed and then wake up with, well, I guess I would wake up with, feeling like on the good side of the bed, if you will, instead of on the wrong side of the bed. Now that I've put my life and my time first, I'm a very busy mom. Now that I've put myself first, a lot of things have opened up for me. So that's been a huge benefit. And I encourage you to bump yourself up on the priority list here so that you can wake up and you're in a better mood than perhaps the day before or than you're used to being. And, how we choose to deal with, some things that happen in our lives that might be disappointing or might be irritable, maybe some irritable life situations is another important factor to consider. So situations like this, they arise often. And being on guard to combat them with positivity is imperative to maintaining a positive mindset. So what's important when we all go through struggle, we all have some sort of either a bad day or circumstances that happen that are undesirable. And it's very important that we consider that every negative has a positive intention. Everything that's negative, or, if we run late, or if there is traffic, or if somebody spills the milk all over the floor, making us leave, the house later than we had anticipated, or whatever the circumstance is, there's a possibility that we could start to reframe this for ourselves and consider that there's a positive intention behind this otherwise, inconvenience in our lives. And that, in just doing that small reframe throughout the course of your day, your week, your month, it can begin to make the shift where you're leaning into the negative and you're creating a positive from that. So that's important in maintaining a positive mindset. We want to have the ability to conquer negative thoughts as they arrive so that we can empower ourselves to living a more pleasant life. That's the end result. The end goal is to empower ourselves, live in the pleasantry, not the negative and the low vibrational stuff. So in order to do that, we really have to begin to do things differently. And one of the ways in which you can do that is to simply reframe your mindset around perhaps something that's negative or bothersome that happens. We work through so many issues that cause our mindset to revert back to the negative this week, that if you just listen for today and you take this one piece of information, that simple reframe, that's just going to begin to shift. And by the end of the 7 days throughout our whole masterclass, you'll have all the tools that you need for a mindset refresh. All right. So simply put, there are positive people and there are negative. And luckily, you and I have the ability on which one we choose to be. Do we choose to be positive? Do we choose to be negative? Do we choose to be around and surround ourselves with our inner circle of people who are negative? Or do we feel better when we hang out with people that are positive and intentionally surround ourselves with people who are positive? It's interesting when you take a look at both of those and you see where your mindset has shifted and how better you feel. It's like watering a plant. When you water the plant, it blooms. If you don't water it, it dies. If you water your mindset, it will bloom for you and inevitably begin to shift into a more empowered mind frame. So conquering your mindset to become a more positive person can actually be easier than you think. Let's go over a few key ways that you can conquer your mindset to create a more positive outlook. So the first thing I have is to choose to begin your day with some sort of meditation or yoga. I'm sorry, I'm just going to make a little shift here. Thanks. We can choose to incorporate meditation or yoga. I am a busy mom. I don't have all the time in the world. As soon as I hear that baby crying, I know I'm on, right? So what I have started to do is I take time for myself in the morning. I get up earlier and I do a 10-minute, very quick meditation or maybe even a yoga session if I feel like I need a stretch. And if I can't get to it in the morning, I incorporate those two things throughout my day. I don't put a lot of pressure on myself to perform them, and I'm not very strict about it because I find that when I stifle myself, there's a part of me, that the rebel inside, that rebels against absolutely having to do something on a list. And if you're anything like me, if we relax around the idea that we have to do something in order to get the result, it can open up some doors. So I actually alleviated the pressure. I took some air out of the balloon and I told myself I didn't have to meditate or do yoga or both every single day, but that I choose to do it in the pockets of my time. And even that simple reframe for myself has opened up the door so that parts of me, the rebel part of me, has calmed. And then I can actually go and do what it is that I wanted to do, which is yoga and meditation. By quieting your mind, by getting in touch with yourself and beginning your day caring about your mind and your spirit, this all starts the shift. When you feel yourself thinking in like a negative tone, or, when we have that inner dialogue that is, I'm never going to be good enough. Nobody's ever going to buy my thing. I'm not wearing the right clothes. Oh my gosh, I feel not my best today, or any other negative thought, we want to lean into that and we want to find the positivity on that negative thought. And, ask yourself, well, I don't feel my best today, but I get to have a day. I actually get to have a day. I'm reframing that statement into, I'm actually lucky to be here. Only a couple of hours ago, I learned that Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter passed away early this morning. And it was very interesting to me because it brought me immediately into the space of every day is not guaranteed, and you need to live your days as though it's your last. We've said that before. We've heard that before. And in this instance, it is starkly right in our face. It's all over social media. It's all over the news. This is a very like alarming thing that has happened. Um, and even though we've heard live each day like it is your last, and even though we've said live each day like it's your last, some of that gets lost in translation in our busy life. So if we can just lock into, yeah, you know what? Kobe Bryant just got on a helicopter today with his 13-year-old daughter to go do something, and he's no longer here. Was he living every day like it was his last? And how can I live every day like it is my last and truly mean it? So when we feel like, and when we start to recognize that our mind is thinking negatively, immediately upon that realization, it's important we lean into that and say, where's my positive here? What's the positive intention behind that? Most of the time, our negative thoughts are simply thoughts that we are conditioned to having. It's like constant, 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 constant. It's like when I take off my clothes and I look at myself in the mirror, my eyes always go to the same place. They always go to the same place of my belly. Oh, it's always there. So for me to reframe that, I had to reframe that and say, my body is amazing. It carried a child for 9 months. I carried a child in that spot for 9 months. It is a beautiful thing. Look at the glory that is my stomach. It took me a really long time to learn how to do that. And I hope in this class, these little gems are being heard, and that you can use them when you're having some sort of inner dialogue that is negative. Let's work on trying to find the positive. Our negative thoughts are what we've conditioned to hear. And so when we train our brains to think positively, change begins to happen. Another golden nugget that is here is to drink your half of your body weight in water every day. I will say it time and time again, water is an unbelievable, amazing, amazing thing. It's like a life force. It's alive. It changes its molecular structure. If you put it in the moonlight, if you put it in the sunlight, it's just an incredible power source. And of course, I would include it in a mindset reset. So if you drink half of your body weight in ounces of water every single day, you're remaining properly hydrated. And that is important to your health, including the health of your mind. Having, a clearly operating mind allows you to transition into thinking mindfully about your life and moving forward. It's going to make you feel better overall. Water is one of it. For every single client that I have a conversation with, it is the number one thing I say that you need to change. If you're not drinking half your body weight in ounces of water every single day, it's immediately what you have to do. And then if you are, great. Take a glass of water and put it outside in the moonlight. Have it change its whole structure, and then drink that in the morning, and you're nourishing your body. It's amazing, and amazing for your mindset as well. So let's identify your inner voice. Who is this that is badgering us, that is the negative conversation? Let's put a name to this thing, this male or this female, and call her out and say, okay, think of a name, Susie Hot Pants or Negative Nancy, whatever you want to identify your inner voice as being. Make it real as possible. Many of us have been conditioned to think negatively through past experiences and self-doubt. That is not surprising. Most of our inner dialogue begins to be established from birth until about 5 years old. And that is the inner voice that I'm referring to here, the inner voice of the limiting beliefs, the inner voices of the negativity, of anything that is potentially negative or positive, has been rooted with us since birth and has been completely fully developed till about 5. So it's important to realize that we actually have control of this voice. And we have the ability to separate who we are as an individual from this voice. A golden nugget that I do teach my clients is name the voice, give that voice the power and the recognition it's asking for. And that means because you've named it and because you have given it power, you can now speak to it and speak into it and say, okay, inner voice or Susie Hot Pants or whatever you want to call him or her. Thanks so much for trying to keep me safe. I realize that that's what the negative conversation, you're trying to keep me safe. Thank you for that. But you know what? I'm going to go try something different. Instead of saying I hate my stomach because I have stretch marks and it's proof that I have had a child, I'm going to say I love my stretch marks because when I look at my child, I see a beautiful reminder of what my body is capable. I was healthy enough to give birth. I was healthy enough to hold a child. I've been healthy enough to take care of that child for however long that child is alive. Reframe that. So when we realize that we're not perfect and we love ourselves anyway, we begin to truly appreciate how unique and how beautiful we are. Not one single snowflake is the same. Not one. They're all different. And that means you are different and I am different. And it is my firm, deep-rooted belief there is enough abundance in this world for everyone, for every entrepreneur, for every person who is living on this planet. There is enough beauty and abundance in this world for all of us. And when you have that philosophy and you believe it as truth, beautiful things open up and flower. You're not constricted anymore by the limiting belief that there's not enough abundance and that we need to step on each other. You know, I was in sales in New York City for so long, and it's all about the grind and step and step and step and how can I, get in there. But when we actually allow that all to just crumble and fall away, and we see and recognize that we are beautiful and unique in our own right, and because of that, there is enough of all of the beauty that this world can provide for all of us. It becomes a conversation of how can I link arms with the people next to me? And together we move forward, and together we make this world a better place. Another little golden nugget I have is to be quiet. Literally, zip it and think. While you're sitting in silence, while you're taking a moment to recenter yourself, you don't have to be super woo-woo or, all of any of that. I know I'm certainly not, but I do like the quiet. More often than not, I am aware of the silence around me when I'm on the ski slope, just listening to what's going on around me. And if I am not on a ski slope, but I want to reenact that time within myself, that quietness in my crazy busy life, I find a place, I sit down, and I'm quiet. And I listen to the thoughts and the emotions that arise within me when I'm completely still and when I'm completely present. And it's a game changer. So I hope that you will come back tomorrow. I have yet another beautiful session for us. And I have some homework for you for tonight's session. So I would love for you to put in the chat, like what you thought. Was this valuable to you? And then I'd invite you to take it a step further. I want you to be extremely conscious of your thoughts throughout the day tomorrow. What's your initial thought process? Do you tend to gravitate towards more negative or more positive thoughts? And I'd like for you to take inventory of these stressors in your life. Any of the stressors actually that might trigger negative thoughts to arise, and I want you to list them. I mean, we don't need any more than 5, or you can have 1, or you can have 20, totally up to you. But just take inventory of those stressors in your life that trigger some of the negative thoughts. And the idea behind this is that once your triggers are in black and white and they're written down on paper, we can be on guard throughout the day, of how to combat these triggers before they flood into our mind and give us those negative emotions and thoughts. Creating this kind of action in your life empowers you, right? You're taking bold action to make the shift and to change. And this action, you're creating this action to become a conscious person in a conscious effort for the negativity to dissipate and to just flow and bring in more joy and more abundance and more peace and calm, and bring it in into to just flow into all facets of who you are throughout your day and throughout your daily processes. So that positivity just becomes much more natural in our lives. We're we're going, we're looking to be more positive here. We're looking for our lives to be radically different than where they are and what and how they are right now. And I encourage you to take a look at that and um, really, make a conscious effort to mark them down on paper so that you can see them in black and white, so that you can begin the transformational process. I hope that you found value in this video. I'm so excited that you were here, and I hope to see you tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for day 2 of our Mindset Reset program. I promise you, just like today, it's going to be filled with awesome, valuable content, and I look forward to seeing you there. I will talk to you later. Have a wonderful night. See you tomorrow, guys. To your abundance.